Welcome to Yuno and Kenzo Koga.
Where ancient wisdom meets modern life. Subscribe now and awaken with us.
Welcome to the deep dive. We sift through some really fascinating sources to bring you insights that hopefully can shift your perspective a little. Today we're tackling something, well, quite profound: grief. And specifically a question that might feel a bit counterintuitive. We're often told, implicitly or explicitly, that we need to fully feel our grief, constantly engage with it. Anything less feels like avoidance. But what if? What if a certain kind of ignoring isn't avoidance? What if it's actually a form of wisdom? So our mission in this deep dive is to explore exactly that. How can what our sources call mindful redirection of attention or wise attention actually support the grieving process? We've got some incredible material blending ancient Zen philosophy with modern neuroscience. It offers a genuinely fresh look at relating to loss without being completely swallowed by it. And let's be clear up front, this isn't about denying grief, not at all. It's about finding space, real space, for healing.
Absolutely. The topic itself, grief, carries so much weight. It's crucial to establish right away, like you said, this isn't about suppressing feelings or pretending everything's okay. It's much more about a skillful way of being with that suffering. Acknowledging it, yes, but also nurturing the conditions for healing to happen.
Okay, so let's unpack that word ignoring. Because, on the surface, especially with grief, it sounds dismissive, maybe even uncaring. But the sources we looked at really invite a redefinition.
Yeah, that's the fascinating part.
Yeah.
Wise attention isn't about numbing out. It's not about trying to just, force yourself to feel happy. It's definitely not denial. It's actually a very active, very conscious process.
So if it's not denial, what is it then? What does it actually mean in practice?
It means consciously choosing where you place your attention, which is limited, right? We only have so much focus. When you're deep in grief, your attention can get completely hijacked by painful memories, maybe those endless what-if loops.
Oh yeah, the rumination spirals.
Exactly. This is about preventing that constant hijacking.
Yeah.
It's about reclaiming a little bit of agency over your focus, moment by moment.
So connecting that to the bigger picture, it's about what? Giving less fuel to the fire.
Precisely. Giving less fuel to that spiral of suffering.
Yeah.
The endless loop of painful thoughts, maybe self-criticism, replaying things. Wise attention is about inserting a pause, taking a breath, noticing the emotion, sadness, anger, whatever it is, without having to be swept away by every single wave. Which kind of raises the question for you, listening. If you're not ignoring the grief itself, what is it you're interrupting?
You're interrupting the habit of suffering. That feels like a really key distinction our sources made. It's not the initial pain, that raw hit of loss, you can't really ignore that. It's the extra layer, the way our minds can sometimes, well, chew on the pain.
The second arrow, as it's sometimes called.
Yeah.
You're acknowledging the first arrow, the loss, but trying not to shoot yourself with the second one.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me. The sources point out that attention isn't just passive. It's not just a spotlight. It actively shapes our experience.
hmm From a neuroscience standpoint, this is absolutely fundamental. Our brains are plastic. They change based on experience. So those neural circuits, they get activated again and again when you replay painful thoughts or memories. They get stronger,
It's
reinforced.
that phrase, neurons that fire together, wire together, right?
Exactly that. The more you focus on the pain, literally, the more efficient those pain pathways become in the brain. It's like digging a deeper groove. You're strengthening connections, perhaps between areas involved in thought, like the prefrontal cortex, and emotional centers, like the limbic system, essentially training the brain to default to that pain state.
But the flip side is incredibly empowering, isn't it? The idea that by gently shifting attention, even just slightly, towards something neutral or maybe even something nourishing, you're actually building new pathways, paving new roads in the brain.
That's precisely it. You're actively helping your brain move away from constantly reinforcing those old painful pathways. It's a very real physical process happening inside your head when you practice this wise attention. You're literally using your brain's ability to change itself, building new connections that can support different emotional states over time.
It's amazing how science is catching up with insights from contemplative traditions. Let's bring in the Zen perspective now. How does it approach this?
Well, Zen doesn't shy away from suffering. It acknowledges grief hurts. Pain is real. It's part of life. No sugarcoating. But then it invites this gentle curiosity. How are we relating to that suffering? How are we interacting with it? And that brings us back to that idea of the second arrow.
Right, so the first arrow is the loss itself, unavoidable, piercing. But the second arrow, that's our reaction, the rumination, the self-blame, the clinging to the pain, maybe.
Yes. All the mental and emotional stuff we add on top of the initial hurt. It's often that second arrow that causes the most prolonged suffering. Wise attention, from this view, is about minimizing that second arrow, reducing the suffering we inadvertently create for ourselves.
Zen has such powerful metaphors for this, doesn't it?
It really does. One of the most helpful is seeing thoughts and feelings, including grief, as like clouds passing through the sky of awareness. Grief might feel like a huge, dark storm cloud, overwhelming, blocking out the sun.
Yeah, definitely feels like that sometimes.
But even the densest storm cloud is still moving. It passes. It isn't the sky itself. It's not your fundamental identity, and it doesn't last forever in that form. Mindfulness practices rooted in Zen help us cultivate that sense of being the sky, vast, open, aware, watching the clouds, rather than being the cloud.
So the teaching isn't pretend the cloud isn't there. It's more like, don't cling to it. Don't build your house right under the storm cloud expecting sunshine.
Exactly. Acknowledge the clouds, see it, feel its presence. But remember, it's transient. You are the sky, the awareness. The grief is a weather pattern passing through.
It's a profound shift, remembering that your core self is bigger than the current storm.
Okay, so this isn't just theory. Our sources offer a really simple practical exercise, something you can actually try when grief feels intense.
Yes, a very gentle practice. It starts with simply acknowledging the feeling, maybe putting a hand on your heart or wherever you feel the sadness, and softly naming it, just sadness is here, or grief is present. Simple recognition, turning towards it gently.
Okay, acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Then what?
Then, the crucial step, you gently ask yourself something like, can I sit with this feeling just for this moment without feeding it?
Without feeding it, that sounds key, but also hard. Especially when the grief is raw. What does that actually look like, not feeding it? It means you then consciously, gently redirect your attention, even slightly, even temporarily. And crucially, this isn't about escaping the sadness. It's about finding a little bit of balance, grounding yourself. So you might shift your focus to the physical sensation of your breath moving in and out.
Okay, like an anchor.
Exactly. Or the feeling of your feet on the floor. Solid,
Mm-hmm.
present. Or maybe the texture of the chair you're sitting on. Or listening closely to sounds around you.
Or looking at something outside, like a tree.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah.
Anything neutral or steady in your immediate environment. The point isn't to push the grief away, but to give yourself and your nervous system a brief respite. A moment to regulate. It allows you to experience that you can be present with the grief without being completely consumed by it 24/7. It takes courage, for sure. But even tiny shifts matter.
It makes me think of that comparison in the sources. Treating grief like a wound, like not scratching an injury. You know, if you keep picking at a cut, it won't heal properly. Maybe wise attention is like letting the wound breathe.
That's a beautiful way to put it. It fosters trust in your own natural healing process. You're acknowledging the injury but not aggravating it. By softening grief's grip just a little, rather than fighting it or trying to erase it, you keep remembering. You're the sky. The grief is a cloud. It doesn't mean the cloud disappears instantly, but you're not lost in it. You're allowing it to move through that larger space of awareness.
And the implications of this approach feel really profound for how we actually live with loss long term. It seems to allow people to honor life, by actually living it, even with that background of sorrow, integrating the loss rather than being defined by it forever.
Yes, it subtly gives permission. Permission to maybe smile again as something unrelated. Permission to engage with daily life without that awful feeling that you're somehow betraying the person you lost or minimizing the significance of the loss. That's such a heavy burden.
Yeah. I heard from someone who practiced this, just focusing on the warmth of their cat for a few minutes when the sadness hit hard. Just that small shift.
That conscious redirection. And over time, those small moments add up. They create little pockets of okayness, which helps integrate the loss in a healthier way.
It helps you recognize that, yes, suffering is real. It's undeniably part of life. But as one source put it, life is also filled with miracles. And both realities can coexist. Both deserve some of your attention in their own time.
Absolutely. It cultivates resilience. It gives you a practical tool, a method to navigate the intensity of loss more effectively. It supports that rebalancing we talked about, helps build those new neural pathways, softens the grip of grief. It facilitates moving through grief rather than just being stuck in it.
So wrapping this up, what does this all really mean for you, listening? Well, this deep dive suggests that ignoring, when we reframe it as wise attention, is actually a really powerful, compassionate path through grief. It's not about denial. It's about realizing you have a choice, even a small one, about where you place your focus. And that choice can soften grief's hold and create space for genuine healing.
Yeah. Remembering you are the sky and the grief is a cloud. That perspective shift can be immense. It reminds you that storms pass, but the vastness, the capacity of who you fundamentally are, that remains. It endures.
We really hope this deep dive offered something useful, maybe a different angle, or even just a moment of calm. Stay present, be gentle with yourself, and please remember you are not alone in this.
Thanks for watching the Yuno and Kenzo Koga channel. If this video sparked something within you, feel free to like, leave a comment, and subscribe for more insights bridging Eastern wisdom and modern life. Until next time, stay present, stay curious, and stay connected.